Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to dive into today is, did we just watch a potentially pro 2A Speaker of the House get scuttled in the first round by 20 different RINOs? I've got the entire list. I'm going to lay a few things out for you, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments field below. And I'm really curious your thoughts on this, because there's a lot of ramifications, particularly around the 2A, of which we focus on every single day. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We are distributing freedom twice daily, and we would love to have you along for the ride. All right, my brothers and sisters, so if you're with us today, we live streamed the first vote of the speakership bid for Jim Jordan. There were 20 RINOs who did not vote for him. He could afford like 3 or 4, so in short, that equates to the fact that we're going to have a second vote tomorrow. In fact, here's the time. They've actually set a scheduled time for it. I will be live streaming it here, right here, tomorrow morning. I believe it is at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I will be here, probably about 15 minutes ahead, so we can watch in real time who is tracking, who is not tracking, and who exposes themselves for potentially some RINO activity. But let me show you this, because the ramifications of this, I know a lot of you will say it doesn't really matter. Sometimes you'll say it's a speaker, he's a RINO, all this, that, and the other. The reason that this is so important is you could potentially have a pro 2A advocate, a defender against the likes of Jerry Nadler, Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, Lucy McBath, all of them on record, on video, we've covered it on this channel, who says things about red flags like this. I covered this in my video this morning.
Gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I urge a no vote on this legislation. Proponents say that this bill doesn't violate due process. Nothing can be further from the truth. You haven't been charged with a crime, but there's a hearing that you're not allowed to be at. You can't be present there. A hearing where you don't have a lawyer, and a hearing where a judge can take your property. So again, just to underscore this, you haven't been charged with the crime. There's a hearing where your property and your rights are at stake. You're not allowed to be there. Your lawyer's not allowed to be there. You can't confront your accuser, but they can take your gun. They can take your property. They can take your Second Amendment liberty. And here's the scariest part of all. As my friend from Kentucky just pointed out, the Democrats say, this is just the first step. This doesn't go far enough. Holy cow. So that kind of proceeding doesn't go far enough when it comes to your Second Amendment liberties. One of the key things that separates this great nation from all other countries is how we have due process in our justice system. This bill takes it away.
That's the guy that could be the Speaker of the House. Now, the Speaker of the House controls everything. Controls which votes go to the floor for a vote, which bills make it through, determines who leads which committees, who determines the direction of things, issues subpoenas, brings forward impeachment charges. You catching the drift? He can also authorize congressional review acts on executive ATF authorities. This is a really big deal, and you got 20 RINOs who stood firm against him. Now, let's get into this. Let me show you what we're talking about, because that's just a small sample, but let's continue. Jim Jordan fails to win House speakership on first ballot, and here is the headline for the 20 Republicans. These are the 20 Republicans who voted against Jim Jordan for speaker. Now, again, I want to reiterate something really quickly. I'm not saying he's perfect. Nowhere near. That would be stupid to say. However, from the proof and the evidence of which we've seen his actions over the last 2.5 to 3 years, focus on the 2A of what we focus on this channel, he's pretty solid in that regard. The amount of power that he could bring to the Second Amendment causes would be substantial. But anyway, let me show you the 2 people. 20 people. 20 Republicans voted against Jordan's candidacy, far more than the handful he could afford to lose given the party's narrow majority in Congress. There are the House Republicans who voted against Jordan. Let me go through these. Don Bacon of Nebraska, he went for McCarthy. Lori Chavez de Rimmer, of Oregon voted for McCarthy. Anthony D'Esposito, New York, for Lee Zeldin. Mario Diaz-Balart of Florida. Steve Scalise. Jake Ellzey, Texas, he voted for Rep. Mike Garcia. Andrew Garbano of New York voted for Zeldin. Carlos Jimenez of Florida voted for McCarthy. So you're seeing a theme here. You've got Steve Scalise, you've got Kevin McCarthy. They're consistently going against the establishment Republicans. That's what we're facing right now, because you're really diving into the establishment stubbornness versus the conservative Freedom Caucus leader that would be Jim Jordan. You seeing the split that's happening right now? This is why this is so important to understand and hold them account for whichever way you fall on this. So let's continue. Tony Gonzalez of Texas voted for Scalise. Kay Granger of Texas voted for Scalise. Mike Kelly, Scalise. Jennifer Giggins, McCarthy. Nick LaLota, Zeldin. Mike Lawler, McCarthy. Rutherford, Scalise. Simpson, Scalise. Are you catching all these? They're all going for the same establishment. Are you seeing the fight that's being exposed with this? And I'm leaving it up on screen just long enough so if you happen to be in their district, you have the ability to call their office. Representative Steve Womack of Arkansas voted for Scalise. Ken Buck of Colorado for Tom Emmer. Representative John James of Michigan voted for Tom Cole. Doug LaMalfa of California voted for McCarthy. And Victoria Sparks voted for Thomas Massey of Kentucky. Now, none of these people have any chance. In fact, Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise have pulled their names from the nomination. They aren't even on there. And then you've got everybody else that's our random one-offs. You've got Tom Cole, you've got Thomas Massey, like all these people, they're just voting for somebody for a political posturing vote. Now, here's where it gets important. Protest vote is, I believe, the term we were throwing around today on the live stream. The important part here now is you had McCarthy and Scalise both vote for Jim Jordan today. The people who are garnering votes were voting for Jim Jordan. So that will probably factor into the calculus tomorrow. We might pick up some more, we might not. I don't know. We're going to watch it together on the live stream right here on this channel, 11 a.m. Eastern time. But where we're sitting right now, there's a long road. 20 is not easy, especially when you can only afford 3 or 4. You got to do a lot of backroom wheeling and dealing. You got to do a lot of consolidation. McCarthy's involved with helping Jim Jordan get to this. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's kind of up in the air. But at the base level, Jim Jordan does seem pretty resiliently focused on having another vote, and there's definitely one scheduled for 11 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll see where that goes. Like I said, right here as a live stream, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Were these guys rhinos, or were they principled opposition? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.